What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I want to give you my professional gaming opinion on Cozy Grove. Cozy Grove is the newest title from those fine purveyors of cuteness, Spry Fox, noted for the sadly ill-fated, because I loved it, Steambirds Alliance, and a few other things before it. Cozy Grove wears its influences on its sleeve. It's not in the slightest bit subtle about it. It's Animal Crossing, but for the PC, is fundamentally the sales pitch. Popular Nintendo IP, but for the PC, is fast becoming a successful formula, following on as it does hot on the heels of 2020, the year everyone realised they could just make Pokemon if they didn't call it Pokemon. So, if the comparison is there right out of the gate, then I'm afraid that's very much what I'm going to be holding it up against throughout this video. I am unabashedly an Animal Crossing fan. So without further ado, let's compare Cozy Grove to New Horizons. You are a Spirit Scout, like a regular Scout, but with more emphasis on earning your Ouija board badge and less on the homophobia. On an expedition, you wind up stranded on an island, perhaps less voluntarily than in New Horizons, but in similar circumstances nonetheless. You set up camp and venture forth to see what you can find, and what you find is ghosts! Bear ghosts, very specifically. Square bear ghosts, even more specifically. Square bears seem to be a hallmark of Spry Fox games. It's unclear why, but they're very cute regardless. Anyway, you're a Spirit Scout, so ghosts are no biggie. In fact, they're exactly what you've trained for, so it's perfect. These ghosts are effectively your villagers. You'll chat to them, you'll get to know them, you'll run errands for them. So let's compare them to Animal Crossing, where the AC villagers are picked at random from a huge pool of them, or actually more likely carefully curated by an obsessive mind over a process of months. All of the Cozy Grove bears are predetermined, so everyone gets the same island every time. On the other hand, though, your AC villagers simply get lumped into 8 personality types, and any 2 villagers with the same personality may as well be clones of each other. The specific, limited and consistent island population in Cozy Grove actually opens up the doors for every resident to be unique. There are 397 villagers that can move in with you in AC, and yet Cozy Grove manages to have more actual characters. Equally, superficial though it may be, AC manages to convey more of a community vibe. Villagers wander around, do things, talk to each other, react to stuff. The Cozy Grove bears just kind of mill around their designated spot forever. You'll get some tools early on, a shovel to dig stuff up, a fishing rod, a pickaxe, a machete, a dowsing rod? You'll run around and pillage the land of its natural resources. So far, so familiar. Each of the bears will have one job for you to do every day, and completing it will earn you a reward, as well as returning colour to the land surrounding them. This is important as you won't be able to harvest resources from uncoloured areas. Finishing tasks also fills in a little bit of one of the hearts over their head, showing your progress with that character's storyline. As you progress, they'll reveal bits of their past to you, and eventually, I presume, you can put their spirit to rest or something. I say presume because that bit's unclear right now. When I said they have 1 task per day, that is per real day. 24 hours on Cozy Grove is the same as 24 hours IRL. Like Animal Crossing before it, you're not supposed to binge Cozy Grove. In fact, you can't, unless you're really dedicated to cheating. So no, right now I don't honestly know what happens at the end. If there's an end, that's a few months away yet. Doing all the daily errands is really the bulk of the game each day. You can gather resources to your heart's content, but you'll probably get bored of it quickly without any purpose behind it. Some of the errands will reward you with a Spirit's Log, an item to feed your sentient campfire to upgrade it. It's the central core progression of the game, and once you've collected enough you'll level up, and more of the islands and more ghost bears will become available to you. Flamey, the fire, will tell you how many logs there are out there each day, and once you've got them all, that's basically it. You're done for the day. Come back tomorrow. Practically speaking, it's the same in essence as Animal Crossing. You do your dailies, which takes half an hour or so, and come back the following day to do it all again. The reality, though, is that it somehow feels more artificial, more forced. In AC, you choose what you want to work on, what's important to you, and eventually you run out of steam, log off, and come back later. I think here it can almost directly be attributed to Flamey telling you specifically, "There's no more logs today, come back tomorrow." And yet I know there would be complaints if players weren't told that, because it's just not what people, especially on PC, are accustomed to. I can already see the angry Steam community posts raging that there's only 20 minutes of content in the whole game, then all there's left to do is fishing. I'm genuinely struggling to think how this is communicated to the player in Animal Crossing, and I feel like maybe it's just such an established franchise that you don't need to. Anyone else trying to do the same has to beat you around the head with it. Stop playing! You're done! What else is there? There's a shop run by a fox, who'll sell you overpriced items and new cosmetics to make your character pretty. You can pay to upgrade your tent and gain more storage. You can use your campfire to burn things to make new things. On a basic level, this is like smelting iron ore into ingots, but you can also burn more unusual things like fish into charred fish bones for crafting recipes. Obviously then there's a crafting bear who'll help you make new furniture for your island, and a bakery bear who'll help you cook food. The furniture is more than just cosmetic too. All of your plants and animals have a happiness rating derived from being near furniture and things they like, which will increase how much stuff you'll get from them when harvesting. So there is a degree of strategy to where you put everything. There's a nautical seagull bear, you heard me, who maintains a collection of all the items in the game. It's basically Blathers in the museum, but unfortunately there's no nice display to walk around, it's just a big list of things to browse. You'll get rewarded for turning each item in, and often fairly handsomely, even for mundane things, so much so that it's a huge source of income, at least early on. Selling things to the shop feels completely unviable as a way to make the money needed to buy upgrades. That balance might change as you start to run out of things to collect, but start earning higher level items, but early on at least, it does feel odd. If I have one bugbear, pun intended, it's that the errands are weirdly inconsistent. Sometimes they'll want some basic materials, some wood and iron or something. Great, I've been hoarding that since day one. It's a bit basic, such that I don't have to do anything to finish it, but no problem. Sometimes they want you to venture out and go find some missing items. Cool, that's valid gameplay. Sometimes they'll ask for something, but the game will flat out tell you, you won't be able to get this until later, try again tomorrow. Okay. So that's literally nothing to do? Sometimes it's fairly challenging. Get me 3 rare fish. Oof, I've been playing a week and caught 1 rare fish in that time. It's a bit grindy, I better get to it. And sometimes they want something that's just unattainable. Make me this one recipe that needs 10 eggs, but the only source of eggs is the shop, and it only sells 1 per day. I guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks? As it would transpire, you get given that item as a reward for another errand the following day, but you've no way of knowing that at the time. I'd much prefer the balance of things to be leaning in the direction of actually having stuff to do. Each bear that you leave unfulfilled each day, whether by choice or otherwise, feels like a failure. So what does Cozy Grove do well? Well, it's a little thing, but the crafting is definitely a step up from Animal Crossing. Rummaging through the vast storage to find the bits you need to make anything is something I always find frustrating in New Horizons. In Cozy Grove, everything you need is just pulled straight from storage, saving you a lot of needless trekking back to camp whenever you want to craft or turn in errands. And of course, as I touched on before, each character feels genuinely unique, with a history and story to tell, as well as having something genuinely new to tell you each day instead of recycling the same dozen or so lines. If you're into narrative, it's got a lot more going for it than make Island good. Is it really fair to compare an indie studio to a titan like Nintendo? Well, of course not. Nintendo have the team and the budget to polish their games to a mirror shine before they get anywhere near the public. But the fact that Spry Fox have managed to iterate and improve on Nintendo's offering in at least some ways, even if not all, is still commendable. I do honestly think, in my professional gaming opinion, that fans of Animal Crossing, if they're looking for more of the same, might not necessarily find it here. Speaking as a fan myself, I've not found myself drawn into Cozy Grove quite the same way. But I have to say I've still been dutifully checking in every day to help my bears out, and probably will continue to do so. Equally though, New Horizons did release over a year ago now, which is ample time to do all the things, and anyone burned out on it but looking for more island living content might find what they want in Cozy Grove. For anyone without a Nintendo console who doesn't have that immediate comparison to make, well then, actually there's really nothing else like this out there, and you might find it well worth a look. Just go into it with an open mind, because it's not your usual PC game. Massive thanks to my lovely channel members for supporting me in making these videos. If you'd like to see your name in the credits alongside these charming and attractive people, you can become a member by hitting the join button below. And if you enjoyed this video, you can show your support by hitting the like button, and if you didn't, vent your disgust by hitting the dislike button. That's cool too. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.